Blair Hagkull, you're managing partner for the Middle East and North Africa for Jones Lang LaSalle, and you've been in the region for 10 years. What have you seen in those 10 years?
There's no doubt that what took place over centuries in more mature markets took place in the Middle East in the last 10 years. And so we have seen these cities grow from frankly underdeveloped to amongst the most developed in the world.
Have you spent that time primarily in Dubai or the UAE?
In fact, the mandate of Jones Lang LaSalle is ultimately a MENA mandate.
Sure.
So we work from Morocco to Pakistan, and in fact, in the last 12 months we've worked on projects worth more than $200 billion. But very much our regional head office is Dubai. It's also our home.
We're just about finished now with the 4-day Cityscape exhibition and conferences. What surprised you about this conference, if anything? You played a part as chair on one of the days, and of course you're exhibiting here as well. What surprised you? What did you see?
I think that the beauty of an event like Cityscape, and not just Dubai but Abu Dhabi and Saudi and other places, is it allows people like us to get a pulse of truly what's happening in the market. Cityscape is where people from all parts of the real estate sector come together.
Sure.
We share war stories, we share the good, the bad, but fundamentally it's an opportunity to truly understand what's happening today in the market. And what that market has told us is ultimately that we've had a challenging year, everyone in the sector, but that's also what's happened in the rest of the world. But rather fundamentally, we believe there's a couple major themes coming into play. Number one, that there is a sense and consensus that arguably the worst is behind us. Number two, working with Cityscape itself, Jones Lang LaSalle, this is the third time we've done an investor sentiment survey. And what the investors told us was that sentiment's improving. And in fact, in some places, they believe that within 12 months, the worst of the market will be gone, and it will be back to a boom time. There's also, I think, the other thing, which is that a fundamental understanding that the market has matured and is maturing, and that a focus on completion, the reality check of real estate, the importance of the substance rather than the sizzle, is all to us indications that the market has become completely different. It's entered a different phase.
The investors who are bullish on the future of the region, are those mainly GCC investors, or are they from other places? How would you characterize them? Well,
the specific survey itself involved more than 250 investors, and they were primarily regionally focused. We saw that was the most important test to look at, because frankly, a lot of international investors today are still worried about primarily their home markets. And there's no doubt that the confluence, the economic center of the Middle East region is in Dubai. What we have seen, though, is some very interesting results. Investors told us that in some asset classes there were more buyers than sellers, which seemed to counter a lot of what we would expect. I think we're also seeing as well that places like Dubai and Abu Dhabi, certainly KSA and Qatar, that as the markets mature, it's no longer one size fits all. In Dubai, for example, the strongest performance will take place along the Sheikh Zayed Road, the Marina, Emirate Hills, the areas that are the most well developed. Unfortunately, the areas that are outlying, that lack utilities, they tend to be the ones that will take the longest to rebound. So in many respects, there is this flight to quality, which is very much consistent with what we're seeing around the world. But importantly, it no longer matters as much what the building looks like in a brochure. What matters most is the real design, who the developer is, who the contractor, and importantly, we believe more in the future, how the building is maintained. Because real estate, of course, is a long-term investment.
Sure, and here it was a land of diagrams and renderings.
Correct.
And mock-ups and so on.
Correct.
Yeah, great. Are you happy about the change?
I think, first of all, that the growth of the last 10 years was not sustainable. everybody saw it. And the challenge, of course, is, we're taught when we're young that the mettle of a man is not when times are good, but you see what you're made of when times are tougher.
Sure.
And what we have seen, and certainly has been very clear to us as we've exhibited here, is that although we've had less inquiries, frankly, the caliber of the inquiries have been better. But before, there was the spectacle component. Now this primarily is a business-to-business activity where market leaders want to talk to other market leaders. I can tell you that our research, our thought leadership, it has been in hot demand. And what we've found is, in fact, we've been able to engage people talking about things in a very substantive way. This, to us, continues to talk about how the market is maturing, how the market is becoming much more focused on fundamentals. And as far as long-term sustainable growth, that is an indication that we're headed in that direction.